It's been a minute since My Hero ended, but I can't get over how tragic of a character Shigaraki is. Dude is quite literally one of the most tragic characters in all of anime, and I only say one of because I haven't seen every anime. From the time he was a 5-year-old kid all the way to the present day, he never had a chance, and that's the saddest thing about him. All For One was essentially a generational curse on Shigaraki and his entire family line. Generation 1, where Nana Shimura had to send her son to foster care so that she can go fight All For One. And it makes sense because why would you want to fight Satan on Earth when he can still access your children? Let them be somewhere else while you try to deal with him. But then not only does he kill her off, the result of that makes her son end up hating heroes so much to the point that he beats on his own son, Tenko Shimura, for wanting to be a hero. He's only 5 years old at this point. And the reason why Kotaro hated Hiro so much is because he felt like he was abandoned only because All For One killed his mother. Then after that point, he stole Tenko's quirk from him when he was first born so that he didn't have one. And then inserted himself into his life later to give him a quirk. A quirk that came from Overhaul because remember, this dude was an orphan. We don't know where he came from, but he was an All For One experiment. And if you remember, Overhaul's quirk allowed him to deconstruct and reconstruct, and he took that quirk and pulled all the regenerative properties out of it and distilled it so that it was nothing but decay left. And then he gave him that power. A power that caused him to kill his entire family on accident. And you can't blame Shigaraki for the destructive tendencies that he felt, because the only reason why he felt those destructive tendencies is because quirks are physical parts of your body. If you give somebody a quirk that is only decay, your body will crave destruction, even if you do not know why. He says so here himself. You have within you an impulse to destroy that even you can't control. Meanwhile, he's trying to tell him, hey, if you want to destroy stuff, just destroy stuff. Let it go out naturally. To which Shigaraki still resisted, because he was 5 years old getting bullied by thugs in an alley and he did not kill them. Which resulted in him having a manic attack on the ground, scratching all over, tears coming out of his eyes because he cannot control this feeling anymore. Only for All For One to then tell him to do your best and then go out there and kill the people that you want to kill. Again, he's 5 years old, which Shigaraki finally did go do after he put all of these arms on him that are his old family members, which he put on him to suppress his memory so that he does not remember what happened to him. It's so bad that at the beginning of My Villain Academia, he was like, I made sure that All Might retired, so he's not even in the picture no more, but I still feel this hate. Overhaul tried to take me over in my organization, and I took him down and took what he was working on, but I still feel this hate. I don't know why I'm feeling this way, but it really feels like I want to destroy everything, so that's why he wants to destroy everything. He doesn't even know why. And he never had a chance to figure out why because these hands are constantly keeping those memories suppressed. All For One's doing, he has no say in anything happening right now. All For One even letting him know to this day, you've never made a single decision on your own. He figured he had to weaken All Might's will so that he could take One For All one day. So he's like, you know what? Your sister's a little too well nurtured. So, I'm gonna go for you instead. And then when the time was right for him, he told Shigaraki the truth just so that he can break his psyche and possess his body. He then told this man all your tragedies, your tribulations, everything you rejected or accepted was all from me. I did everything to you. Now get out of my body. And he shattered his psyche. Every decision that he's made throughout the entire series was something that was cultivated by All For One. And Shigaraki had no chance because he started doing this 3 generations ago with his grandmother. He was literally like 60 years too late to do anything about this. And the saddest thing is that once Midoriya gets a chance to talk to Tenko, he gets to see how he really feels, and it's kind of heartbreaking. Because we know back when Tenko first killed his family, he knew that he hated them because, these guys let him get beat on by his father and they did nothing about it. But that didn't mean he wanted to kill them. He didn't understand those feelings. Again, he was 5. Tenko was thinking to himself the entire time, I had to have done it on purpose because why else would I have these hands that would do that? Why else would you explain I was born this way if I didn't want to do it? Not knowing that the reason why he has that quirk that made this happen in the first place is because of All For One. And after he became a villain, he just kept being a villain because it's like, well, I now made friends that do not like society, so I gotta destroy society for them. Because to those guys, I am their hero. All For One literally forced him into this life, and then Shigaraki stayed in it because he didn't think he had any other choice. And that's where Midoriya came in, because not only did he save Shigaraki from himself, he gave him One For All. And for the first time in his life, someone that genuinely wanted to help him reached their hand out for him. and gave him the power to fight back against the very evil that cursed him, his father, and his grandmother over 3 generations, making it so that even though he died in the end, he was able to become that hero he always wanted to be, thanks to Midoriya. And that's why he respects him so much. And the last thing he said to Midoriya before they parted ways was to make sure you do your damn best. Now, I know some people wanted Shigaraki to like come into his own and be the big bad of the entire series, but honestly, I love it that All For One was the big bad from start to finish. He called himself a demon lord, and from his actions, dude was definitely a demon lord. Beyond that, he was a generational curse, and Shigaraki was just an unfortunate kid that got caught up with him and his beef with All Might. So I get it, some people were like, well, we don't want to see Shigaraki redeemed, he did too many terrible things. You just gotta understand, the root cause was All For One. Stopping Shigaraki but not stopping that dude would have ended you up back to square one, only worse. And if you really like Shigaraki as a character, I recommend reading Horikoshi's one-shot Tenko. It predates My Hero by a very long time, and it's not of the same world, but this was the inspiration for Tenko Shimura, aka Shigaraki. Now, overall, I'm not saying you have to feel bad for Shigaraki, because I hear a lot of people saying like, oh, well, why would you feel sympathy for him? I don't get why Midoriya wants to save him because he killed a lot of people. He's still a really bad dude. Completely understand that. Trust me, nobody understood that better than Midoriya, because even he says there's a possibility I can only stop him by killing him. But I wanted to make this video so that you can understand why he wanted to save Shigaraki, because a lot of people be missing some of these details. Especially since Midoriya was able to go into Shigaraki's mind and see what happened to him and how he got started. Because it was in this moment that Midoriya realized,
if